Hey, welcome back to the Blitzkrieg battle number 3. We are on the semifinals. It is the Bang, who are certainly no strangers to making the finals of this tournament. In fact, they've made both finals so far. They're going to try to do it again here. They're up against a team we just watched, which was the Aerox mixed team, the Dominatorz. We're here on Manor House V2, everyone's favorite map. And we do have the Bang team. Starting out on the defense side, already have the opening pick. And there's another one thanks to St. Six's STG.
Should be mentioned as well, this is Aerox's ex-team. He was playing for the Bang in the first Blitzkrieg, and now he's against them, so I may have some insider information. Although I don't recognize Zuma, I don't think he was playing for them last time around. I could be wrong.
Yeah, J Money's not playing, it looks like.
Yeah, and he was pretty much their key player, I'd honestly say.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
He was a beast.
Losing J Money's pretty big. Now, I will say, like, the leader and St. Six were pretty solid last week, so it's not as if they are completely without firepower, but certainly J Money was a big piece of it.
Yeah, standout player for sure, but let's see if they can do it without him. Aerox has gone down to the hands of Zuma. It's been a pretty damn good start by the Bang, all things considered. Aerox, Reflexer, and Chet are all briskly swept away, leaving Cruncher and QWXR, who is going to get one kill, looking for a second, not able to get it done. And the man you just highlighted with the STG, St. Six, comes good with a double.
Yeah, it comes with a double, and then he also had another kill earlier, so actually a hat trick on the round, had one of those initial kills over at Long A. So just a clamp down defense across the board here. I think it was actually really big that Fancy actually pushed all the way through B house as well, and basically knew that, you know, alt mid and B were entirely in the clear, which allowed the rest of the Bang to, you know, pretty well focus up and be confident that A was going to be the intended target. So always got to think about the information game being played and how gaining positioning and map control, especially on the Axis side, can just give you great reads on what your opponent's up to. As Fancy's going to be doing the same exact thing this round, pushing B house out. Aerox, though, does get the opening pick onto Zuma. But again, the Fancy has pushed out B house, knows B is clear, and now 2 can focus on A and the leader can kind of focus on middle.
Yeah, as you say, able to lock down mid and B respectively. St. Six and Sus are both laid in wait, although I think Sus's position has now been compromised. They know he's behind the barrels. Yep, 12 health remaining. He just has to lay there and hope for the best. And at this point, you're expecting to see one of the Axis rotate around the back, because right now, he's going to be a dead man once they line these nades up. In fact, it's not even required. Aerox comes through with 1 and a second. There's just no help at all for the Axis on A. No rotations, no wraparounds whatsoever. And now Fancy 1 on 4 has already been found, already been tagged, and is living on borrowed time. Bomb also planted in amongst all the frenzy, and down he goes. So solid round for the Allies.
Yeah, really well done. It definitely hurt that Sus was trapped, basically, in a closet, but not with R. Kelly, just with himself, and could not get out of there. Pinned down. Had to just lay there and take it.
Jeez.
Also,
lawsuit incoming, of course. Allegedly.
Is that too soon? I feel like that's pretty old news. Anyway, also Fancy was able to push out B house again, but never really could get the flank off, and that certainly hurt. Aerox getting some big opening picks was definitely a big part of it. Reflexer with the set nade also going to draw first blood. So again, a round starts out very early on in the favor of the Bang. Not the Bang, sorry. Dominatorz. Now up in a 5-on-3.
Yeah, it's going to get a bit confusing seeing Aerox's name there. I'm probably going to get confused as well, but position I haven't seen actually too much. A player up to Chet's left-hand side, which is going to be Fancy, is actually pushed on top of the boxes of the house with the shotgun. So if anyone gets close to him, they're basically going to get wrecked. But there is Cruncher. He's a step ahead. He was the player that had a couple of sneaky spots on Liberation, so obviously it's one that you've seen before. And it's going to make sure that it's not going to punish him. St. Six, last player alive. Good luck to you, sir. STG. Again, this could just be a save situation. Keep the heavy weapon going. Not just for the STG itself, but the nade that comes alongside it as well, of course. That's going to be useful later on.
Yeah, it feels like outside of, like, you know, obviously the bolt action rifles and the scopes that are one-hit kills, the STG is just one of the other most powerful guns in the game. Like, obviously the SMGs are very strong in certain situations, but the STG is by far, like, I feel like the other big gun of choice, and so saving it would be pretty massive, as he is going to get pushed by Cruncher, able to get the headshot there at Fountain, though, and keep it, but there's 4 more allies who can push them, including the Carbine, who was basically no risk as a default class, to go ahead and chase it down. Does get the kill, does get the card collected. That will give Dominatorz a little bit more to work with in this next round.
Yeah, and you highlighted the key part there is they sent the Carbine players out, so no car's going to get lost. And QWXR got the kill anyway, so it's going to be a heavy card traded across. I'd say heavy's not quite as influential on the Allied side. We discussed this before. The bar is, I think most people would agree, weaker than the STG right now.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. We are now 2-1 to the good of Dominators, who are now looking to push over towards the Long A Street in middle, and actually start attacking Azuma in Connector House. Just putting a lot of pressure. Pretty much everyone faced them at the same time, just gathering up, swarming together as a unit. Now they'll all go through Connector together. Sus does cut off one of them on the way to the B side, but they're still making some good progress. Though it is at a 3-on-3 at this point.
Aerox perched in barn. It's going to see Sus up to his right, no scopes him in the backside. And now the Axis, trailing by a player, have got to try and regain control of the B side of the map. Whereas before, the save was very much the solid choice. This time around, not so much, and Delete has missed two. Will land the hardest of the three shots. Standards. And it's now a 2-on-2 retake. Two Carbines up against the Sniper and the STG. No HEs on either side. But Saint has gone in and lands himself the kill onto Reflexor, so it's all on Cruncher. Spots the head peeking around the corner, not able to make the most of it. Delete is knocked down to 4, however. But he's going to keep him interested, and Delete lands the headshot. I didn't even see from his perspective, but that must have been nuts.
Yeah, like you said, the leader was the one that was having a lot of struggles inside, the big barn against Aerox. Was missing a couple of shots, but then you said hit the most difficult one he was faced with, and then in the 2-on-2 retake, a big part of making it happen. That was kind of a crazy tactic, by the way, from Dominators. I hadn't really seen that before. They basically just gathered up 5 players, pushed mid with all 5, pushed Connector House with all 5, overwhelmed Azuma, and then we're looking to push Connector all the way to the B side of the map, but then kind of got slowed down in the big barn area. A couple of big kills that went off from the bang, and then eventually, thanks to the leader, they actually get the job done all the way, and now have tied up the game at 2 apiece.
Yeah, solid retake. It was a 3-on-2 at one point, and Eric got shut down in the back. He was a bit too hungry for the card. Delete that. Gonna look all the way down towards the Allied spawn. Spots a couple players hopping across, but unable to land the shot. Now looking into top Manor. Check goes down. This time, mid control is going to be established firmly by the Axis, not allowing any of those rush shenanigans to come into play.
Yeah, good forward positioning from Azuma. We'll fade back after the kill, though. Doesn't want to overextend. Meanwhile, Fancy hasn't pushed out B this time. It's kind of been more conservative, and in the meantime, Reflexor does get that pick to start opening up alt mid and into big barn. But the leader's inside here with the scope, and you know how great he was last round. He'll continue that effort. Does take down Reflexor, but it is evened up at a 3-on-3 thanks to the pick of QWRX at long A with the M1 Carbine. Looking to see if he can open up that A bomb site. His Cruncher will be meeting from the other side, and that is Sus out.
Could bait them into a false sense of security, though. We're taking Sus down. They just push the site because the leader's there waiting. They smoke onto the connector side of spawn, but they had their eyes towards the leader and will take the prize of the round. 3-2. Good solid start again. We've had a lot of close games starting off in these games, and then suddenly it just goes super one-sided in the middle portion of the map. So we'll have to see if that happens again.
Yeah, that's very true. That was just kind of a round where you had QWRX finding picks on one side of the map, and then you had Aerox doing work on the opposite end. So it felt like the Axis team just couldn't really get a read on what the hell was going on because they were getting picked on 2 different extremities of the map. And so at that point, you're not really sure where the hit's actually coming from. And just got overwhelmed by numbers as well. Got out-traded throughout that round, really. As you said, it is 3-2, but so far to the good of the Dominators mixed team. Do have Sus trying to play in that connector house with the shotgun, which could be very dangerous to deal with if someone were to push him down. Obviously, we know how powerful that shotgun is in close range.
Reflex gets tickled, but he's going to be okay to regen back up to full. 2 HEs and 2 smokes currently inside of the Allies, and 3 smokes and 1 nades. The nade being in Saint Six's hands, who did come through into this round with a Gewehr. 2 Gewehrs in total. Uzuma has the second one, but it doesn't look like Uzuma's going to get any action anytime soon because the Allies are congregating and starting to push their way over onto the A side of the map, and Chet's is going to be able to find the leader. Aerox has gone down earlier. Now they're going to start to smoke onto the site itself. looking to push with numbers. Saint 6 has been forced out of position entirely. This is going to be a retake. The bomb getting planted, and they can't stop it, Dust.
Yeah, so I did a really great job, though, getting that shotgun kill on Connector House and keeping it at least in an even 4-on-4 and giving another way to entry. He's going to jump up top with the scope now, trying to look for something towards long A, waiting for his teammate Fantasy to get to the plane and get into retake position. And there is Sus opening it up with the scope, finds another as well, getting the advantage back.
Last player is QWXR with one, has to turn tail and run away. This Colt is going to come good, though, with a second kill and looking for a third one. This would be a ridiculous round, considering it was 1-on-3 and he got heavily tagged up in the first confrontation. And someone's going to go ahead and tickle the bomb again. I'm going to try and draw him out into position. And we'll find a couple of shots, but it's not enough to get the kill. And QWXR has played this one to perfection. This round is going their way. Even if he dies, he has ate up enough time. And Uzuma, all he can do is collect some cards. And can he get the kill as well? In fact, it's not even worthwhile. It's a card bind. He's not taking any cards away. Just needs to keep this alive. Which he will.
Yeah, a nice little attempt there. I mean, you have to give some credit to Sus, who was, able to get that shotgun frag, able to buy a little bit of time, gets a scope, gets a couple of big kills to actually start opening the A-bomb site back up for the bang. But then it's just QWRX. He's been a real nuisance over at Long A. Over at Secret or just playing the Long A area in general. There's a couple of rounds. Like, he got a couple entries even the round before that helped him win the round against a leader on the site. And then, this round, he's the one that prevents the bang from making the clutch, from making the comeback that Sus was trying to, facilitate. So a really big play out of him so far this game. He's not, like, necessarily a top fragger in the server, but he's tied for the top, and he's had some huge impact frags lately. We see a bit of the same going on from Dominatorz this round. Same kind of gathering up over towards middle and plane, but they have lost a player.
Yeah, they did early last round as well, but we're still able to force their way onto the site. Saint 6 had a bit of a nightmare as well. I caught him whiffing a bunch of shots in the previous round, and nice try, but ultimately didn't quite live up to taking the round. And now, the Allies who, as he said, conceded the first kill, are looking for more of the same, it would appear. All four of their players over on the A side of the map. It's really just Aerox watching the backside, making sure a flank doesn't come in. And he's just seen Sus cross, but can't connect the shot.
Yeah, it feels like they're just kind of doing a slow A where they allow QWRX to push up long, try to get a pick, maybe get an angle on someone being aggressive, try to take some fights in Connector House, just find some type of opening. And they found it with Aerox's scope this time, and a nice set nade kill for QWRX. The second time he's done that same nade and gotten a frag with it. And now they'll float to B.
It's all about killing the plays in mid, stopping the rotation in its tracks, and Saint 6 can only ponder and think about what could have been with his Gewehr. There's no reason to save this, of course. He's going to be having the same weapon going through into the next round anyway. May as well try and take some of these cards away from the allies. So he's going to go in for it with his HE.
And he's got plenty of fallen teammates he might be able to pick up cards off of, unless they've already been collected by Dominatorz.
I feel like they have, considering where they died. Let's see if he can get any kills. No, is the answer. Aerox will not allow him to do so with a Gewehr, using the German default against the Axis.
Yeah, again, it's just that slow A approach, but then once they did get a pick with Aerox's scope, they're really quick to just kind of, go for something. Like, they don't really hesitate. Once they get a pick, they follow it up pretty quickly, very convincingly. And you can see they were able to flood, again, that Connector House. They've done it a couple of times where, they'll try to work a pick slowly at A. Once they get something, they'll try to just, with sheer numbers and brute force alone, just kind of push one area of the map, get a kill, and then, once they control middle like that, like you said, they can really cut off rotates and control the map. And so definitely really well done from Dominatorz, who are up 5-2 from the Allied side. And I feel like the Allied side, a lot of the time, has really struggled in general in this game. So if you're up 5-2 from the Allied side on this map, you're probably feeling really good about how the game's going.
Yeah, definitely. And you can see that they've been primarily on the A site, watching mid, stopping those rotations. And there's really nothing the Axis can do about it. By the way, the cards on the Axis are awful right now. They're pretty much down to their last couple of cards on each class. Reflex has gone down first, but the last two rounds have seen the Allies lose the first player and still come out ahead. Saint is using that smoke. Actually, using an off-angle, he gets timed. What the hell? He was wondering what just happened there. He gets finished off as well. That shot was ridiculous. Aerox just shot him through the smoke, plain and simple, and is able to move on to the site. I think he did see Delete appearing around the corner of mid,
Mm-hmm.
Or not, he doesn't react to it at all. You could clearly see his head peeking around there, but obviously just wasn't expecting it. Delita has been in this position before, however. And now with the kill onto Aerox, this does give them a real hope, a real glimmer, and it's just turned into almost a guaranteed round now. QWR has already picked up one 1v3 previously, but that was with a post-plant scenario to boot. Not going to happen this time. Solid hold by the Axis.
Yeah, it's really about Fancy and company being able to actually make that rotation from the B side of the map, actually get some kills along the way, and just be way better set up to fight in the late round, right? Not even allowing a bomb plant. So it wasn't really that much of a retake, as it was more of just, you know, quickly getting into position with the remaining 3 members to make sure they could face down Dominators, not give them access to the bomb sites. So just better rotating. I think it really does boil down to the fact that this time around, Dominators weren't really able to control middle and stop those rotations as they have in the past. So that really opened the map back up for the Bang. After a bit of a drought, they're back on the board, making it 5-3. And this time you see Suts pushing long A, trying to deny that space to QWRX rather. Little does he know the focus is really towards middle and B side of the map. And he could get a flank off because of it. So we'll have to see how that plays out.
Certainly not a name that just rolls off the tongue, is it? But Aerox and Delita have both died. Chet, in the meanwhile, has gone down as well. And the Axis.
I keep wanting to call him Quirks, because, like, it kind of works if you think about it.
Yeah, it does. I have to speak to him and see if that's how you pronounce his name. Would be a lot easier to say for sure, especially when things are getting fast. But I completely agree with a point that you raised earlier as well. This has primarily been a map where the allies have struggled. So having 5 rounds already is really solid. I think even if they finish with 5 rounds, sure, they'd be disappointed with how things ended up after having such a great start. But it would put them in good shape for their Axis side. And it's looking like it could go that way. Solid shot by Sus. We'll see the round end and Axis pick up a 4th. They still trail, though.
Yeah, I think a lot of why you're seeing a recovery from the Bang has really just been, A, they're not allowing so much free mid control to the allies. They're trading better. There's, you know, out-fragging their opponents better. Sometimes it does just come down to that. And you're also just seeing, like that round, for example, Sus being able to push out long A, gets that early information. So they're making better early round information plays and being able to rotate accordingly. So just some good adjustments here from the defense of the Bang. Again, a team that's made the finals of both previous Blitzkrieg battles, lost both those finals. So they would like some redemption, I guess you could say. Sus tries to go for the peek at long A, misses his shot, but post up. Keeps the information rolling, but again, QWRX has just been so hot out of long A. It's another opening kill from there. And it's always been the default class as well, is the crazy thing.
Yeah, he's really enjoying the carbine. Seeing a lot of players opt for this. QWRX is going to land an 8. Plum on the head of Delita. And now they're going to look to make the most of this 2-player advantage, which will be maintained. Although Azuma did come through the kill, he's instantly taken off the table. Fancy onto Aerox. Going to give them a small glimmer of hope into the remainder of the 35 seconds that are on the clock. But Saint 6 will see no further part. Neither will Fancy. Neither will the Bang. 6-4 lead. This is shaping up to be a great allied half.
Really is. Again, I just feel like QWRX, every time he's actually played long A, he's been so successful in finding a kill from there and helping open up the A bomb site. Aerox has been pretty on point as well with the scope, just in general. That time you saw Chet really shine with the MP40, actually getting a couple of key kills in the site to kind of close out the round. Now we just have 2 rounds left here in this first half, 6-4 to the favor. And again, both these teams are kind of mixed teams, to be fair, particularly Aerox's team had just came together for this tournament. And the Bang has been kind of playing with a different 5th at least every tournament. And this tournament, they have 2 different players than the previous one. So maybe hurting them for consistency's sake on the line.
Trade going to go the way this time of the allies. Fancy and Saint are both fallen, but QWRX, who has been the main man with 11 kills, he's top frag on either side. Eric's just 1 behind. The 2 top killers on the alliance have been momentarily silenced. And just going back to that point you mentioned before, especially considering that J Money's not playing for the Bang, I think that's a huge loss for them. He has been their standout player. Like, he's been ridiculous these last 2 events.
Yeah, I couldn't really agree more with you on that. As we do get into the rest of this 3-on-3 situation, Crusher, Reflexor looking to maybe take into the A bomb site, which is actually open. Sus is playing it from his spawn. So the site is open for the taking, but they can't really know that just yet. And as I say that, Sus does begin to rotate to the gate, try to get a peek over here towards the long edge street, and does find it on the Cruncher. So that is the advantage swinging back to the Bang. as we get with 30 seconds left.
Time itself beginning to become an enemy for the allies. They can't afford to take any longer. They have to get a skate on. And skate they shall towards A, which has by and large been taken. They're just not entirely sure about which angle they have to watch out for. They have a nade in the hands of Chet. It's kind of surprised he didn't throw that before going for the plant onto the likes of Trench. And he's going to get tagged up from Sus, who gets a jump shot on Reflexer, lucky for the second, and will take down Chet additionally, who still didn't use his nade. 35 seconds left with the defuse, no problems there. And the Banger just waiting to collect any remaining cards before they do go for the full defuse since the last round.
Was that an ace for Sus? I think he got at least 3 or 4. Not 100% sure if anybody else got anything in on that round.
Could have been.
Could have been. It seemed like it. It was kind of slow and spread out, but he did well. Because I know he pushed long A, killed QWRX, fell back, and I saw him at least kill 3 people on the A bomb site there at the end. Because he got the first pick on the first guy playing, then he just killed the last 2 players that are in the site. So may not have been an ace, but at least a quad kill, and certainly a big individual effort nonetheless from Sus, basically winning around by himself with just some brilliant scope work.
I have a feeling, actually, Saint 6 got a kill as well. I think he got a kill from mid with the Gavere, but don't quote me on that. I've been kicked, by the way.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. He did get the first kill of the round with the Gavere, but
still 4 kills, not bad at all. Yeah, still solid work. I'm reconnecting, by the way, got kicked.
That's all good. I'll take it from here until you get back. We're in the last round of the first half, 6-5, so it could go as close as possible if the Bang are able to get it together here. Fancy and Azuma are on a very quick flank through alt mid to get behind these players at middle or at the back of the plane here at Long Age Street. So this could be very dangerous, but it looks like Cruncher was wise to it. Gets a shot off, doesn't get the frag, but does chase them back. So the problem is, though, because Fancy and Azuma own these positions, they know that everyone else is A side of the map, and they can make the quick rotation to kind of assist their 3 teammates who are already sitting near the A bomb site. So they're kind of suffocated over here on Dominatorz. They have to commit to an A hit, or they have to somehow run back through their spawn if they want to break through this containment that basically the Bang has on them right now. Now Reflexer will start opening things up with the second kill onto the leader, and so does QWRX, going off with a couple of frags of his own. So hot as ever from that long A position. We've seen it time and time again. And he's good for it again this time around. 3-on-2. The bomb is being planted. Azuma is trying to come up with a flank on plane, but I think Cruncher is aware. In the meantime, Aerox is fighting with Sus here over towards the Axis spawn. Sus has got that scope, trying to regen some health, keeps getting tagged, trying to get the kill onto Aerox, but cannot hit the shot. And now it's all in Azuma, trying to flank around the connector house, but he's being chased off by Cruncher big time. Just not able to land a car 98 shot, does pull out the Luger for a kill, and it's a 1v2, but only 18 seconds left on the clock, so trying to get these kills in a defuse seems like a damn near impossible task at this point if you ask me, and it seems to just keep the odds piling on. It's now only 9 seconds remaining. He has to stick this defuse if he has any hope of winning. Almost lines up a nice little collateral shot and does get the kills, but it just doesn't matter. Not enough time to defuse, obviously. So 7 rounds, 2 Dominators from the allied side of Manor v2. So pretty well done.
Oh, I mean, that's, judging by our previous stats and what we've seen over these last few weeks in the Blitzkrieg Cups, I mean, that's massive. You know, normally allied sides are getting sort of 3-4 rounds maybe, and that's a pretty decent half. To get 7, that's phenomenal. And if they start this second half well, they take a lot of the cards away from the allies, they're in great shape. Let's see if it happens then, shall we? As the roles now reversed. And it's going to be QWXR, who was typically just playing on A on the allied side. He will be using it on the Axis side too, so definitely going to be a player to watch out for. Going to smoke off long, allowing him to focus more towards play.
Look at Reflexer. Big push through alt mid. Could really be ruining the Bang's time.
Yeah, he's still playing patiently, not going to give anything away for the time being. But Sus is actually watching behind them. I mean, this is going to be a tilting moment, but he turns around at the worst possible second. And now Reflexer is going to get traded out, but it's a lot of information that's been gathered on top of the kill. Crunch from behind. You've got to hate to see it here. The allies are starting to fall at an accelerating rate. Saint 6 does answer back with 1 kill of his own, but he's been spotted. And Chet will put them both down. Great start into the second half, and it looks like Dominators want to finish this one off fast.
Yeah, looks like they want to get to that best-of-3 grand finals as quickly as possible. as you noted. Really comes down to just that combination of Reflexor and Chet. Like, Chet was the first one to kind of make a move with the MP40, get an opening kill that even bought more time for Reflexor to get his flank in at all. And as you said, Sus seemed to be aware it's a possibility, but, you know, kind of got caught on the wrong end of a game of timing. Also, that was really big that Cruncher caught Azuma. Like, Azuma was actually trying to put a little maneuver through alt mid and kind of get around all the aggression that was actually at middle, but Cruncher rotating from B caught it. And that could have been the way back into the round, but Cruncher was there to put it to a stop. So far, an even exchange in this round. Chet looking for a little bit more, won't get it. Saint 6 getting the advantage for the bang.
Exactly what they're hoping for, though. They have had chances in these last 2 rounds. And Sus is going to take some long control for his team now. He's going to be by himself for a considerable time, though. Saint 6, the leader, and Fancy split up across the map. Cruncher, with an aggressive position in B, allows his team to know roughly that they can stack the rest of the players around the A site. QWX has made a bit of noise, and Aerox is going to be positioned to peer across with the sniper. Similar position to where we saw the leader play earlier, and Aerox does peek. Perfect time, right place. And QWX is going to go in with a kill of his own. 40 seconds left. The Allies had a player advantage, and now they're at a deficit by 1. And now Cruncher can move out into position round B. But his 2 teammates have fallen. And so this flank is by and large useless. They're going to realize that he's going to be the lead player at this time. The nade's not going to land, but it was pretty close. But now, surely the Allies have got to take this round if they want any chance at bouncing back on this map. This is a gimme. Fancy holding the close angle to Thompson, tailor-made for this sort of position, and Saint 6 is still on the site looking on the mid side, just making sure the flank isn't coming in. Cruncher goes for the peak, and he will be put down. Solid comeback in the round by the Allies.
Yeah, really well played by Fancy and Saint 6. It was actually looking pretty grim for the Allied side there. Actually, we're at a man disadvantage, but somehow we're able to kind of just split in on QWRX and company on the A site and get it into a 2v1. Cruncher was the last man left. If his nade could have hit the bomb planter and gotten him into a 1v1, there was maybe a chance to get back in, but once it didn't land, just a really good crossfire setup from Saint 6 and Fancy. He wasn't really going to break through that, was he? But it's 8-6, a little bit of a recovery here from the bang. They'd like to let the core of their team once again find themselves in the finals of this tournament, I'm sure. Saint 6 taking that next step forward to do so with the opening pick on this round.
Brilliant start for the Allies. Within 25 seconds, they're already 2 players up. It's been brought back by half as Reflexor will find himself 1. Bomb still under control in the hands of Sus, who's now pushing up long. QWX could be the man to take that off his hands. They do trade blows, but neither player is going to go down. In amongst that, though, the Axis have brought it back to a 3-on-3.
Yep. Reflexor's been so good with his mid-aggression, usually in tandem with Chet. So it's been pretty big. This time, though, the leader does reel it back in for the bang, does get that pick. It's now just Cruncher and Reflexor left for the Dominators. Both over towards the A side of the map, so they're in the right place. But the leader and Azuma might actually be looking to push the A house here and maybe even go connector to mid. So this isn't a foregone conclusion that it is going to be the A site being the intended target.
Not just yet. But with time starting to run a little bit more scarce, they're going to have to think about that one. And Sus has completely mind-gamed himself out of this. He's gone all the way back round towards the B side. Cruncher's gone down, but Reflexor answers back with a kill of his own. 13 seconds. Is there enough time for Sus to get on the site and plant? Yeah. It's going to be close, but I think he's just about got it.
Yeah, I think it only takes like 3.5 seconds to plant or something like that. So he got in there with like 8 seconds to spare. So really good maneuvering by him and Azuma to kind of bypass all that mid-aggression. Azuma ran through the A site, in fact, and now it's hiding connector house. Going to catch Reflexor way off guard with the Thompson. So just good maneuvering across the map by Sus and Azuma there. When they were under pressure, they were losing some numbers to Reflexor. They just got around him, basically, and got an empty B bomb site. So the comeback effort is real. They are 1 round away from tying this thing up on the bang side of things.
Yeah, strangely enough, the Allies seem to have been the stronger side today on Manor House. Now you're going to go straight over to Sus. Doesn't look like it's going to go anywhere near anybody. Around mid, I think, is where that nade was designed for. Check down to 5 for regen. QWRX and Chet will be holding A once more. QWRX at 69 health is going to have to back away with a Gavette. And smoke down onto the entrance. It's going to buy them some valuable time. And also now allows Sus to maybe rotate himself through the barns and look through mids. And he's got a spot reflex in transition, gets the headshot. Important kill. Not only does it give the allies an advantage in terms of manpower, but it stops the rotation. It effectively starves their A defense. You do not envy Chet's position right now. 1 on 4, car in hand, he is a goner.
Yeah, he just got absolutely melted through that box. Nothing you could really do, though. You can't really fault him. Just a dominant attack right there from the Bang. I mean, they only lost 1 member on that, effectively getting the entries they needed on A, and as you noted, cutting off any type of reinforcements that would normally be there. You know, thwarting any aggression attempt. We've seen Reflexor and Chet often be successful in middle being aggressive, but not that time around. Reflexor got caught really early, in fact, trying to push through that A barn. I believe it was, so definitely some good stuff here from the Bang to tie this thing right back up and try to get their own allied side rolling.
Ooh. Oh, that's going to be a tilt right there. The Axis were already up against it. Going to lose Chet, and QWRX got wrecked as well. They're going to look for a boost. And that nades nearly takes down 2 players as a result. The Zuma goes down. I'm actually not sure how Sus survived that. It looked like it landed right on both of them.
Oh, absolutely. I thought he was a goner. But somehow, some way, he's still breathing. He's still kicking and screaming over here with this bar on top of the tank. And Aerox probably not expecting that angle. Sus will get himself another kill. He's got both the frags for his team so far in this round. Really opening up this A-bomb side. Only QWRX is left to defend.
Even trades again. Reflexes to get caught so many times. Sus has gone straight through mid and done just this. And the Bang are able to connect and get themselves in the lead. That was a hell of a position. Well, the boost up onto the tank was nuts.
Yeah. That was nuts. It takes a teammate to get him up there. I actually haven't really seen that before, so that might be something new to keep an eye on going forward. Sus with a quad kill that round. Got to spam through the smoke. Got a couple kills there in middle towards the end, so really big plays from Sus. Again, eliminating any aggressive option from Chet and the lead Reflexor, which have been usually pretty successful for the Axis side. And now they actually take the lead. So big news from the Bang, and Sus keeping the good times rolling from the last round. Already opening frag into this one, looking for more. He doesn't spot him inside the site, gets that one too. Sus the multi-frag king right now for the Bang.
And because they've killed Chet and QWRX, they know that's A gone. These have been the A defenders time and time again. The difference though is they've mixed things up.
Nades, did you see that?
Exchange the grenades. But the difference is this time they had Cruncher, but he's got down as well, all on Aerox. Not for much longer. And I think it was 7-5 at half time, right?
Yes. 7-5 in favor of Dominatorz from their allied side, yeah.
So that's a 5-1 half to the allies.
Mm-hmm.
So Manor House allied side confirmed.
Apparently so.
Definitely not, by the way.
Yeah.
Normally the allies get wrecked on this map, but
I think it really just comes down to Sus just having some big individual efforts. I mean, we're 18 rounds in. He's got 21 kills. The last 3 rounds in a row, it feels like he's gotten at least 2 kills. Been really hot with the bar here in these last few rounds. Really dictating the pace at middle instead of allowing Dominatorz to do that. You see him again pushing plane, looking for something over towards the A side. Could be catching Chet, trying to fall back from long A to get back into the A site. Sus does in fact spot him, tags him a couple of times even, but a smoke will come up, block Sus's vision from finishing anyone off.
Sus using as many magazines as he requires to pierce the smoke and see if he can get himself a kill. Huh?
That was just a good out of context, but
reasonable.
I'll let you use your imagination.
He's gone through mid again. How many times have we seen him do this? He just walks through mid. He's getting so much information, and he tries to catch players as they rotate. And he's just seen Aerox down in the trench. Oh! Aerox in turn catches him too, and will be helped out by QWRX. They will finally put a stop to the Sus going straight through mid and wrecking them.
The B's been left wide open in the process, so The bomb is probably going to go down thanks to the leader. Fancy has a great angle up close on this main way back in, and Saint Six has a flank option as well. So this retake is really difficult.
Crossfire established, but will only kill the one player. And both players from the Axis are close. Oh, the Colt is going to best QWRX, and that could be the round following. Arox is going to tickle a bomb, try and draw out the position to leader, who will be taken out of the equation. 20 seconds now. And Saint Six is going to be moving in. Arox is going for the full defuse. Saint Six thinks it's a fake. He's going to go peek now and just about gets it done. I thought for a second we were going to have the full defuse come in.
Yeah, I think that was just that internal clock that Saint Six has, knowing it takes 7.5 seconds to defuse the bomb, so he kind of just counts down in his head a few seconds, realizes, okay, if he did stick it, now's the time I have to peek to ensure he doesn't get it off all the way. And so really well timed by Saint Six. Just a really good flank altogether from the 8 side of the map. I think that's just a good response, because, I mean, when Sus got shut down middle, you're kind of fearing the worst for the Bang, but great response just to go ahead and take that B bomb. I think it's like the first time we've seen the bomb planted at B this entire game. Or one of the only handful of times it's happened.
Yeah, it's been pretty A-focused so far. Sus again spots himself a couple of players hopping across to long. Arox is going to fall down. Unbelievable to think that the Bang, after having a horrendous first half, are just too shy of taking this and going to the grand finals. The third consecutive Blitzkrieg Cup.
Yeah, that's looking to knock on the door of that A-bomb side again. Already have 2 kills in their favor. Finally a response from QWRX, but the leader's quick to just take that 2-man advantage right back.
Pretty tasty wallbang as well he did on long through the wooden panels. Zuma is trying to bait out with the lean peak, and it's going to be successful. Cruncher can't do anything. And this has been a pretty depressing game for Cruncher, because he's been on B so many times. He's just like, mate, come on, I have to retake every round. There's only 3v1s he has to retake into, so just no hope at all.
Yeah, certainly. Bad, man. So the Bang is 1 round away from, again, locking up the grand finals of a Blitzkrieg battle. He's done it the other 2 times. Now they're going to do it for a 3rd time. They lost to Ocelots in the first one 0-2, lost to Penta 1-2 in the previous Blitzkrieg battle. And granted, the roster's a bit different each time. You know, they used to not have the leader as a scope for the team. Now they do. J Money is missing today. We have Azuma instead. So they have like kind of, I guess, a similar core 3 throughout all these tournaments with, you know, Saint, Fancy being kind of the primary ones alongside Sus. So yeah, they are very well, could be in the finals once again.
Arox looking for the up and over nade onto long, not going to land, but he did just see, I believe, a leg protruding through from Sus, who's been consistently playing this kind of an angle. Will miss his shot, but won't get punished with his life just yet. The peak's going to be coming through as Saint plus Azuma both going to come through with kills. It looks like it's the beginning of the end. It's a 4-on-2. 2 more kills required to move through to the finals. Make that just the 1. And Cruncher, once again, on the retake. Inbound has been spotted. Won't be picked out just yet by Zuma, but his days are numbered. And Zuma may very well finish this off with the Thompson. Indeed he shall. Congratulations, the Bang, 3 consecutive grand finals.
Yeah, indeed. Just really well played. Like, they really methodically kind of opened up the A bombs. I mean, they've had Aerox trying to go for an aggressive peek at plane from the A site. And when they saw that, you could see, I think it was Sus who had the bar again at A plane, was kind of throwing some shots on the Aerox, forcing him back into sight. And because Aerox was kind of caught in this no man's land, awkwardly trying to get out of dodge and stay alive, that really allowed the 2 players to just kind of peek freely out from long A, because it wasn't really being covered anymore, because Aerox was focused on A plane. And they're able to just get some good peeks, some good angles onto the site, get some big frags. And yeah, I mean, we thought that they were in some trouble when they were actually down 7-5 at the end of the first half from their own Axis side. Because, you know, typically Axis has fared a little bit better on this map when we've previously commentated it. So, yeah, but they dominated their own allied side. They only gave up like 1 or 2 rounds the entire half and just won out the, 8 rounds they needed to make the grand final. So pretty dominant stuff, all things considered.
Yeah, we'll have to see if they can continue it in the grand final. I'm not sure who they're against, though. Do you, Dos? You know who they're going to be playing?
No, I don't think the other semifinals finished yet. It's ATG playing Lil Cats. All right. Which Ain't That Good actually did beat like a really good Finnish mixed team 8D that had Senda and Replin on it. They beat them in the quarterfinals to make the semis, and now they're still in the middle of a semifinals match as we speak. So we're gonna have to wait for that one to finish. As soon as it does, we will get on with the grand finals, where the Bang will be meeting the winner of that semifinal matchup. So definitely want to stay tuned for that. Again, we appreciate you so much for tuning in. If you're enjoying yourself, please do hit that follow button. This is a weekly tournament. We do it every Saturday for Europe. So be sure to follow up so you can tune in for the next time. And then eventually we will have some NA tournaments on Sundays, I believe. If you guys enjoyed the commentary, you can give a follow to myself and Vince. It's at OnFireVince, at FollowDust. You can type !casters in chat to get links to make it easier for you. If you want to support us, we'd appreciate that. And without further ado, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be bringing you the grand finals of the Blitzkrieg Battle number 3. Stay tuned.